Hello everyone and welcome back to Suzerain, where the election is mounting, but the challenges are also mounting. We are going to have some issues with Lilius Graff, our ex-Minister of the Interior, who wants to challenge us for the USP contender seat in the general election incoming. We're going to have to make sure that doesn't happen, but we haven't done very well with our economy. Even though we've done well with our kind of welfare policies, our economy policies have not done us well, as you can see by the government budget here of -11. So, we're going to have to see how that goes. The door opened and Lucian entered. Mr. President, there is a problem. What kind of problem? Mr. Hall wants to speak to you. He's in the White Room. Please follow me. Do you know what it's about? I was just told to come get you, sir. I opened the doors and we entered the White Room. I looked around. Simon was sitting, playing with a pen in front of him. What is going on here? Mr. President, I'm here to let you know that I'll be handing you my resignation shortly. Your resignation, what's the meaning of this? Exactly what it looks like. I'm resigning from my position in the cabinet. I simply cannot go on anymore. Talk to me, what can I do? How can I help you better? I'm sorry, but I've already made my decision. I won't turn back from it. I suppose I owe you my reasons. I failed my mission as Minister of the Economy. During our term, instead of stopping the recession, we made it even worse and entered the Swedish Depression. I blame myself for this. I couldn't offer you better solutions. I prove that I'm unfit to serve as the Minister of Economy in Sordland. I'll resign at the end of our term. Please don't do this, Simon. I'm to blame, not you. I'm afraid things are already in motion, Mr. President. I took a deep breath and looked at Simon's determined face. I have no choice but to accept your resignation. Simon and Lucian left. I took a seat alone in the White Room. Everyone's leaving. I'm by myself. Okay, the United Sordland Party Congress. Let's see if we can earn enough votes to stay in power. It was the day of the United Sordland Party Congress. For the third time in the party and Sordland's history, a candidate was challenging an incumbent president. Sergei was driving me to the GNA for the historical event. I looked out the window as we passed through the small forest dividing the Maroon Palace and the Assembly. I thought about the day I announced my candidacy against Edward Alfonso, when he was still president. Then I remembered how just a few years before that, Ewald had challenged Tarquin's soul. How are you feeling back there, sir? I'm okay, Sergei. How are you doing? I'm as good as I can be, sir. Sergei made a left turn out of the forest and into the vast garden area of the Assembly. I still don't believe how Miss Graff could run against you. She owed her position to you. Doesn't matter, Sergei. She can do as she pleases. Of course, sir. It's not like she has a chance against you. I'm not sure about that, Sergei. I think she might take the win. He parked the car in front of the gate that led to the USP's wings of the Assembly. Good luck, Mr. President. See you on the way back. Thank you, Sergei. Sergei's always been a great supporter of mine. I appreciate it. I entered the building and joined the crowd of influential politicians, lobbyists and benefactors who are gathered for this turning point. It was almost time for the debate. The crowd dispersed and the members of the USP went inside the Congress Hall. United Sordland banners hung from every possible spot. I tried to mentally prepare myself for my speech, but the memories from my first leadership races were making it hard for me to focus. As if on cue, Lydia strode past me into the hall, accompanied by a large son of her supporters. Instead of her usual beige, she wore a sun-yellow skirt and blazer. I tried to ignore them as I entered the hall. I took a seat next to Lucian, waiting for the session to begin. Mr. President, time to face Lilius. How are you feeling about the vote? The cabinet resignations cost you quite a bit of support. It's not an optimal situation, it's going to be a very close race. But I'm positive that if you remind them who you are right before the vote, you can win the day. We'll see. Sir, looks like it's starting. He pointed at the podium, and Albin Clavin was there. He was about to introduce the candidates. Ladies and gentlemen. The hall fell silent as he continued. We gather here today for the 28th Congress of the USP for the third leadership race in history. As one of the youngest members of the Assembly, I am honoured to open the historic session today. The members of the USP will be voting whether President Rain or Lilius Graff shall assume leadership going forward. Before we begin the selection process, I would like to invite both candidates to give very short speeches. First, I would like to give Anton Rain, the fourth President of Sordland, and the chairman of our party, the chance to do a speech. I stood up and walked to the podium amid applause and campaign music. I shook his hand before I began addressing the party. Thank you, Albin. Brothers and sisters. Oh, we're going to have to be careful about what we say here. I know that our term could have gone better. I took office to bring reform to this country. And together we try to resist the establishment. But I believe if we stand together, nothing can stop us. And we continue our fight to make this country great. This is not the time for division. Let's unite under this flag one more time. Oh, see, this is going to be a tough bit, because if we accuse Lilius Graf of being a puppet, that's not going to go well. I mean, she is, but still. I don't want to say stuff about her being a woman. Give me your support, let's bring this country together. Let's try that. I know you will do the right thing. And Morgan of Escor. The campaign music started blaring again as I left the podium. Albin shook my hand again, and I walked back to the seat to the sound of loud applause. It was a good speech, sir. Congratulations. Albin spoke from the podium again. Thank you for your speech, Mr. President. Now I'd like to invite the next candidate to the stage. She is one of the most experienced, respected members of the party. We all know her as her accomplishments in archery and horsesword, and as Swordless Minister of the Interior. Goodness me, Albin, really selling it. Let's welcome the former Minister of the Interior of Swordland, Lilius Graf. The hall started applauding. Lilius walked up to the podium, accompanied by an old nationalist song about the Swedish Civil War, Aletta inte Nolki, or The Light in the Darkness. Her eyes had fire in them that I have never seen before. Fellow compatriots, it is an honour to be a candidate for the leadership of our great United Swordland Party. She pulled out a handkerchief and dabbed at her eyes. Forgive me. This beautiful song always fills me with emotion. My opponent might call that weakness, I call it a strength. It brings me hope to see all the energy in this Congress today. But hope alone does not suffice. I don't want to listen to songs any longer, I want us to sing them from the rooftops. What is that you want, sons and daughters of Swordland? I'll tell you right now. You want a president who will stand bravely against the wealthy elites in the mansions, rather than cow to their every demand. You want a Swordland that protects its own, rather than letting foreigners have no respect for our culture. You don't want a president who brings millions of Wessex and Bludish refugees, while actively supporting regimes and atrocities, igniting a refugee crisis. You want a strong and united Swordland. And here I am to tell you that none of these things are possible as long as Anton Rain is in office. As those who rule the state become more and more alienated from the values that make us who we are, and the deplorables who stand silent against this sink us deeper into the quagmire of moral and cultural corruption. During Mr. Rain's term, the USP lost its identity and risked losing its supporters. He made an alliance with the PFJP, completely against our party wishes. He tore his own wife away from her rightful place at home, and forced her into politics in the name of women's liberation. She did that herself, you scum. And he did all of this without even managing to fix the recession. Swordish people are still suffering. He is a disgrace to the name of Tarquin's soul. We cannot allow him to take the accomplishments of the party any further. Oh, screw you, Lilius. She's going too far. Don't worry, sir, let her say what she wants, the result won't change. After nearly 4 years the President's behaving abominably against all my advice, I have no choice but to tender my resignation. For I believe that we could achieve much more, for I still believe in the idea of a united Swordland. I appeal to your innate sense of honour and dignity as Swordish people. Elect me as your leader, and I promise that with the Lord on my side, I shall elevate this party and this glorious nation to the heavens. Mr. Rain, your time leading this country is through. I am here to bring down the walls you built. Thank you, and Morgan of Westcore. We can applaud. The voting began. I filled out my ballot, making an X next to my own name, and lined up to drop it in the ballot box. After all the votes were cast, we sat down and waited for the announcement. After some time, Abin appeared on the stage again. Thank you everybody for voting today, the results are ready. After counting every vote, we have come to a conclusion. Oh goodness me, this could be a bad end. The winner of today's leadership vote is determined to be Lilius Graf. Oh no. The hall reverberated with thunderous applause. I congratulate our new leader and next candidate for the presidency. I couldn't believe it. For a moment my sight darkened. All I heard was shouting, Lilius, Lilius. I couldn't focus. Everything became a blur. Are you okay, sir? I'm fine. I sank down into my seat and sighed deeply. Sorry you didn't get to be Vice President for longer. I'm grateful you chose me at least. What will you do now? Mr. President, my political career didn't start with you and it won't end with you. Besides, you're not going anywhere, are you? Of course not. Then you know I'll support you, as long as we figure out a good plan. Ooh. I'll endorse Lilius and continue my membership in the USP. I'll continue politics in another party. I'll start my own party and run for president again. Sure, that sounds fun. And we'll call it the People's Party. It's high time that Swordland had a new political movement. That is an interesting plan, sir. I support your decision, however I don't think I'll be leaving the USP myself. I'm sorry. It's fine, don't worry about it. Good luck to you, sir. Somehow, I expected that I'd be alone in this. I wasn't sure if my plan would even succeed. I thought back on my many years in the USP, then I thought about the future. I needed to plan my next steps. So, the USP have turned their back on us. I somewhat expected that, to be honest. With the election looming, I'd practically been sleeping in the room palace lately, but tonight I made a deliberate effort to get home early. I told Monica and Dina I wanted a family supper, just like the old days. Monica had promised to cook something special. The usual crowd of protesters was waiting for me outside the gates of the complex. The guards formed a cordon to let me through. I hurried past them, went inside and locked the front door behind me. I heard her footsteps coming my way. Hi, Papa. A sucker. How was school today? Dina shrugged. I won a prize at the science fair. Honestly, I think they were teaching girls different stuff before because they knew we were smarter than boys. You might just be right. Dina smiled. Mum is in there. I've got to do some homework before dinner. I followed her with my eyes. She went upstairs. She started to look more and more like her mother. I stepped into the kitchen. Monica was stirring a pot on the stove, her back turned to me. Smells delicious. Monica well done in surprise. When she realised it was me, she smiled and gave me a kiss on the cheek. Sorry, Anton. I guess I've been on edge lately. Why don't you go fix yourself a drink in the living room? I'll let you know when dinner's ready. I sat down in the living room, poured myself a bit of whiskey, and flipped out through one of Monica's women magazines. It took me a second to realise Monica herself was on the cover. The headline, Swordland's Woman of the Year. Tina came rushing down the stairs and made a beeline for the coffee table. She picked up her pencil case. Almost forgot that. What do you hear from your brother these days? Not much. He writes me letters sometimes. Papa, are we bourgeoisie pigs? Not if I have anything to do about it. Monica appeared in the doorway. She smiled at the two of us. Dinner's ready. The three of us gathered around the dining room table. Monica laid out balls of zabla even. The stew tasted as good as it smelled. Now that you're here, I wanted to say something. I know the past 4 years have been hard on all of us. I'm so grateful for you for supporting me through it all. We deserve to celebrate. Monica's eyes were shining. Once the election's over, I'm taking you both on holiday. Monica sighed heavily. Anton, I think you should quit politics. I'll just drop out of the election. Retire. Why? With everything that's happened, I don't think you belong in government. Of course, I don't want to lose the progress we've made for women, but I'm afraid that will happen anyway. You being president, it hasn't been easy on any of us. Maybe we could go back to things the way they were the way before. Okay, Monica. I'll retire. You've made your point. Monica gave me a look of gratitude. I truly think it's for the best. If we can get out of this game without being assassinated or having a serious bad ending, then I would take that as a success. Dina still looked confused. Does that mean we're not going to live here anymore? We could stay here, but we don't have to. We can do whatever we want. As I spoke, I felt like a weight was lifted from my shoulders. I knew I'd made the right choice. I'm still going to keep fighting for women's rights no matter who wins the election. And I won't stop fighting for the causes I believe in too, from a distance. Monica and I smiled at each other. Cool. It'll be an adventure. Can we finish dinner now? Of course. The three of us dug into our food and started talking about what we'd do once I was no longer president. When we were done, I went up to my study and started drafting my retirement speech. So, sometime later, I don't think we were ever going to win the election, to be honest. Announcement of retirement. It was a beautiful October day. There was a soft knock on the open door of my office. The camera crew was here to film my retirement speech. As the director gave the signal to roll the camera, I fumbled with the notes I prepared. My dear citizens, this has been the greatest honour bestowed upon me as a fellow countryman. The truth is, I have done my part for this country and I'm proud of what I achieved. And then, spend more time with my family. I'm very grateful to walk this path with the amazing Monica Rain, who supported me through the last 4 years. Monica walked out to the stage when I said that, and the crowd had mixed reactions. And my greatest thanks goes out to all of you who came here today. You're the backbone of this campaign. No, and most importantly, I thank you for supporting me through these difficult years. I had to pause and take a few sips of water before continuing. You once protested against our corrupt political establishment and elected me to fight for you, to finally put Sordon first. With the power you entrusted upon us, my administration fought to save your interests alone. Today, Tarquin... I'm not sure about that. Today... I don't think that's true, but today Tarquin's so-called personality is no more. His images have been erased. I don't believe that. I don't believe that in the slightest. You rose to your feet as the bright light enveloped you. The only thing you could do was look away. What had started as a rumble in the distance was now a deafening roar. You closed your ears and crouched down. It took all your strength and courage to rise to your feet again. You looked outside. A mushroom-shaped cloud, many skyscrapers tall, was towering above Holsword. You couldn't believe what you were seeing. You barely registered the shockwave as the wall of extreme heat and pressure destroyed everything in its path. It was the last thing you saw. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. So, history will remember you as a centrist Meliavinist. We went left-wing, we went to be a reformist. We were quite close to some of these chaps around the edge. Interesting, Peter was right in the middle. So, in office 1954 to 1958, preceded by Eduardo Alfonso and succeeded by Casaro Quibada. It looks like he won the election. Goodness me. During our presidency, 1.6 million people lost their jobs. 81% fewer maternal deaths were recorded. I'm happy with that one. 13,000 people died of criminal violence. 779 people were killed during the clashes between Red Youth and Young Swords. 100,000 conscripts joined the workforce. More than 16,000 people with British descent were released from prison. I'm happy with that one. 3,899 legal cases were delayed. 600,000 women joined the workforce and 800,000 girls were enrolled at secondary education for the first time. 81,000 companies declared bankruptcy and 1,000 news articles were altered. Suzerain. There we go. Developed and published by Torpor Games. I'm not sure I saw that outcome coming. I know there was hints of war in the background. Perhaps joining the United Container Sphere ended up with that happening. We were just announcing our retirement as well. I thought we were going to have a lovely, lovely time with our family. But it was not to be. I really enjoyed this. I think a couple of things could have been done a little bit better. Sometimes decisions you made had long-lasting consequences without the ways for you to kind of alter that anymore. You would say one small thing, you would choose one option, it would lead into a much larger thing. For example, when I was having a talk with, I can't remember which country it was, but I accidentally, I wanted to see how far I could do the negotiations, and then once that failed, I couldn't go back and just stick with the original decision. I had to just say no. So I think that could be done a little bit better, but, these are all small things. I really enjoyed my time with this game, and it's nice to play kind of these political games with a lot of tough decisions to make. And clearly the decisions that we made did not end up going to plan, as we lost the presidency and then had a nuclear explosion. Goodness me. Goodness me. Well, that there has been Suzerain, and what a journey it's been with Anton Rain and his family from the very beginning through to the very end of his presidency. And I do believe there is a DLC we can play, Kingdom of Rizia. The story pack is not yet released, but I believe will be soon. So we may yet see the Kingdom of Rizia come back for another run, potentially even a live stream. We will just have to see. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. And there is already a new series started in its place, Stronghold Definitive Edition, although probably not a very long series. So no new series to be started at the end of this episode, but a new series to follow once either Medieval 2 Total War or Stronghold is done. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching me and joining me on this journey. For now, take care. Bye bye.